The year is 2024 and Godzilla fans are starving, trying to convince themselves that villains like Scar King are actually good and that they don't suck. But need I remind you that we just got one of, if not the best Godzilla villains last year in Godzilla Minus 1. That villain, who am I talking about? It's Godzilla. Is he worth the hype though? Is he an all-time great? Welcome back to Villain Review, and today I'm analyzing Godzilla from Godzilla Minus 1 and giving him a villain score 1 out of 10. Let's do it. Sometimes villains are just villains. They don't have to be sympathetic. They don't have to be likable. Sometimes you just need a big lizard to tear things up, and that's okay. Godzilla Minus 1 takes the character back to his roots, treating him as this unstoppable force of nature. It's why I don't like the Monsterverse that much, because they just make him some jock, like he's gonna steal your lunch and then go giggle in the corner with his friends about it. I've always seen Godzilla as a man versus nature story, and that's exactly what this is. I've always liked Godzilla best when he means something. Obviously in the past representing the effects of the nuclear bombs that went off in Japan, and while don't get me wrong, sometimes it's fun to watch him beat up other big things, I get it. But every once in a while, let's make things more serious, you know? Let's make him mean something again. I made a whole analysis earlier about why human characters suck in Godzilla movies, and one of the things I talked about there is that I think Godzilla is more of a setting than a character. In this movie, he's a setting, he's an event, and it gives us way more because the human characters in this thing are actually pretty good. When the new Twister movie comes out, right, I'm not gonna analyze the motives of a tornado and criticize it. It's a gust of wind. The same goes for Godzilla. Sure, you could say it's instinct, it's survival, anything like that. Honestly, fine. We don't need much else here because it makes him more terrifying, more epic, and just better in almost every way. Godzilla, not a nice dude, believe it or not. That's what I've been told. When it comes to his personality, there's not much there. He's a walking bomb that looks like a lizard. However, there are some characteristics we can still talk about here, like the fact he's threatening, he feels big, unstoppable, he feels evil. I also think the movie does a pretty good job of establishing his healing factor, something that's gonna show, again, this guy's gonna be really tough to take down. It adds to how unstoppable he feels. It makes the whole odds of winning this situation just feel impossible for our main characters. Like I said, we don't know why Godzilla wants to kill all these people or claim this territory, but if you just look at the dude, I mean, come on, dude, it has to be malicious. It's that look in his eyes that shows there's no getting in this thing's way. There's no taming it or controlling it. I don't know, man, just the design of the eyes, I keep coming back to it. It looks so evil. It looks so lifeless and soulless. You know how you look at like a monkey, right? King Kong, that's why we all like King Kong. And you go, oh, that guy, like, you know, he's got kind eyes, he's got similar eyes. Not Godzilla. Doesn't have similar eyes, doesn't have kind eyes. This guy's got jerk eyes. This guy's got, I'm gonna mess you up eyes. It's just pure devastation, and that makes this Godzilla scary as hell. Also, he feels big. In the Monsterverse, they don't feel big. Not when Scar King's whipping backflips and handstands all the time, like he's a high school cheerleader, all that crazy stuff. No. Can you imagine this guy doing a backflip? There's no shot in hell. Can we talk about the design for a second too? I love how throwback this feels. It shows that there's nothing wrong with older looking designs for things, and that not everything has to be modern. More recent adaptations have given him new, modern looks, which is cool. Some of them are pretty good, but this slow and lumbering beast, it just feels right. It shows that a design can still be scary given the context surrounding it, something I think is way more important. Also, I just love the villain presence, a villain that you can feel looming over the entire movie. Granted, his name's Godzilla and the movie's called Godzilla, but I think you get the point. Watching this movie for the first time and not knowing when and how he was gonna show up really got me stressing. I was hyped because Godzilla's cool, but I was also scared because Godzilla's scary. Some of the best presence I've seen in a villain in a long time. Godzilla is luckily used pretty sparingly in this movie, making every single appearance have that much more weight. When he shows up, you know something is going down. You know that every single interaction is going to have consequences. Something is going to happen here that will further the plot. His first scene destroying the base is a great introduction to this Godzilla, and even scarier, it establishes that he's still growing. We see this Godzilla, and we sure as hell know he's not gonna stay this small. Again, small touches like this that make him more threatening. Something else I'll point out here is that every single scene Godzilla has here is made incredibly well. Each one has its own unique feel and vibe. Pretty much every single one of them feels different. You have nighttime, daytime, evening, overcast. Each scene stands out for its content, but also its feel. And it's why when you leave the theater, you can point out and name every Godzilla scene, no matter how much time has passed from watching the movie, at least if you're paying attention, like me. The second scene, dude, talk about tension. When Godzilla pops his little head out of the water and starts swimming towards them, that's gonna shave a few years off your life on the tension alone, good lord. I love the build up to his appearance too, with all the fish, you know, boop, 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 floating up to the top. You get that feeling of, holy shit, something's about to go down. Here we get our first real look at this big Godzilla, and it does a great job of having him take that big boat down that was apparently the best boat. Quick hack for villains, okay? I'm gonna give you a little cheat code, writers. If you want to convey their strength, give them something big to go up against and say, yeah, nobody can defeat that thing, it's too scary. If someone were to defeat that thing, man, we'd be screwed. And then have them, well, defeat that thing. It works every time, dude, come on now. I think the third scene, though, might be my favorite. We get our classic scene of Godzilla, you know, knocking down buildings, all that jazz. But we all know the standout here. It's the atomic breath. The genius about this scene is the fact the atomic breath has been hidden this entire time. He's gonna make it count, and damn, dude, it counts. The build-up is perfect. The music goes insane. As each individual spike loads up, it gives us almost this timer, this countdown effect. We know what's about to happen, but we don't know how crazy it's gonna be. And when it happens, it's even crazier than we ever could have imagined. A perfect scene, one of the best I've seen in a long time. The ending also perfectly uses his breath as a device for tension, because we know how bad it's going to be if he gets it off and lands it, so him trying to use it, it makes the finale that much better, that much more, you know, scary. The whole ending is awesome. Every Godzilla scene is absolute perfection. Godzilla Minus 1 pulls off an amazing Godzilla, one of the best Godzillas. He's scary, he's big, he feels throwback and retro, but still with some modern flourishes, some modern takes, and some changes that makes him unique and makes him scary as hell. Love this guy, love this villain, amazing. I'm gonna give this version of Godzilla a 9. Thanks so much for watching. New villain review pretty much every single week. I'll talk to you later. Hit subscribe. Trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. I'll talk to you later. Are you or a loved one struggling with accepting that Scar King is a bad villain? If so, get help. Go to therapy. There are other solutions out there. You don't have to live your life like this. There is hope. There is a whole world of possibilities, clarity, if you will. So if you're struggling with that, call this number, 565 Scar King Sucks, and get some help, get some counseling. You need it. He's a pretty bad villain. I'm done talking about this now.